Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pridana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Ganasuta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Translation and commentary is Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Text number 3 today, correct? So, the journey through the Gita again. So, please repeat. I'll just do it one verse. You're all great Sanskrit scholars, so I'll just do one line at a time. Paśyaitāṁ pāṇḍu-putrānām ācārya mahatīm camūm vyūḍhāṁ drupada-putreṇa tava śiṣyeṇa dhī-matā paśyaitāṁ pāṇḍu-putrānām ācārya mahatīm camūm vyūḍhāṁ drupada-putreṇa tava śiṣyeṇa dhī-matā paśyaitāṁ pāṇḍu-putrānām ācārya mahatīm camūm vyūḍhāṁ drupada-putreṇa tava śiṣyeṇa dhīmatā. Okay, word for word, please repeat. Paśya, behold, etām, this, pāṇḍu-putrānām, the sons of Pāṇḍu, ācārya, O teacher, mahatīm, great, camūm, military force, vyūḍhāṁ, arranged, drupada-putreṇa, by the sons of Drupada, tava, your, śiṣyeṇa, disciple, dhī-matā, very intelligent. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pāṇḍu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pāṇḍu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Draupada. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Droṇācārya, the great brāhmaṇa commander-in-chief. Droṇācārya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadī, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice, by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Droṇācārya. Droṇācārya knew this perfectly well, and yet as a liberal brāhmana he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now on the battlefield of Kurukṣetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged their military phalanx, after having learned the art from Droṇācārya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Droṇācārya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Droṇācārya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also wanted that such leniency in the fight would lead, also warned, that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. Mukam karochi vācālam pongam laite girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam paśyaitāṁ pāṇḍu-putrānām ācārya mahatīm camūm vyūḍhāṁ drupada-putreṇa tava śiṣyeṇa dhī-matā. So we'll start again with verse number 1. This is the beginning. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay. Actually, that's a very interesting thing. The Bhagavad Gita is actually the recitation of Sanjay to Dhritarashtra, actually. That is how it's recorded by Vyasadeva. Sanjay was the disciple of Vedavyas. So he had mystic vision, and he could see the battlefield and he could relate the instruments to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra was not only physically blind, and therefore he lost the rulership of the kingdom to Pāṇḍu, his younger brother. This always burned in his heart. Effectively, he became the king when the Pandavas were, put in the forest for 13 years after Sukini had the charmed dice and made a dice game. But it is often that the father wants to fulfill his desires through the son. Somebody wanted to be a doctor, but then he couldn't become a doctor somehow or other. So then he tries to get his son to be a doctor. And that because people in the material world, they identify with their offspring as mine, so I can use them as I wish. Of course, the sons are rebellious against this sometimes they cooperate, but this is a natural thing. Like the mother, because the baby comes from the womb, or the body of the mother, she considers the child as her own self. And she will even sacrifice her own life to save her child. This is the case. So this identification, though it may seem very noble and fulfilling from the material point of view, and it does help sustain the material society, but at the same time it is all illusion. Because we are not related to one another as father and son or mother and daughter, so on. We are all actually having relationship with Krishna. That is our real relationship. Our real relationship is aham bija pita, right? That I am the seed-giving father. But we are identifying with the bodies, and this whole material charade is an illusion. Now, when people hear that, they think, oh, you Hare Krishnas, you're very austere. And then at the beginning of the Bhagavatam, what's that second verse? Paramo nimacharanam satam. Right? That the Bhagavatam, relationship with Krishna, as expounded in the Bhagavatam, can only really be understood by the Paramahamsa. Therefore it's recited by Sukadeva Goswami. He even, when he was born, he left his family. And who was his father? Vedavyas. So even, and he was stated there in the Bhagavatam that even Vedavyas, this bodily relationship, this will control me, this will suppress my bhakti. So it's explained there, Sukadeva Goswami, the great Paramahamsa. A Paramahamsa means he takes the milk out of the water. He's not interested in even his fatherly relationship with Vedavyas. He heard the Bhagavatam in the womb of his mother, I believe, right, as it was recited by Narada Muni. So, yes, so he left and he wanted to find somebody to whom he could recite the glories of Krishna. He only wanted to discuss Krishna. He didn't want to discuss bodily affairs, political affairs, so on and so forth. And we can understand here that even now there's so much politics, communism, capitalism, globalism, thisism, thatism. This is all, and though in those times there was a big fight between the Kauravas and the Yadavas. So this is all continual. We may want to know what is happening in the external world, what the Rakshasas are doing, but it shouldn't be our prime concern. We should be like Sukadeva Goswami, we should be like Arjuna and serve Krishna. We should become Paramahamsa, detached from the bodily platform, and awaken our relationship with Krishna, our Swarup. That is what Lord Chaitanya has come to give. That's why he's Namo Mahavadanyaya, because he's giving the path by which we can become situated in our Swarup. Just like we were saying, Sava upadi vinir muktam tat bharatena nirmalam. Upadi, these bodily designations, male, female, American, Bengali, French, Devata, Rakshas, that's all illusion. But we should identify with the soul. So through Siddhanta, through Bhagavad Gita, through the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we can understand the spiritual platform, and we can then perform bhakti. Like we were saying, Brahmabhuta prasanatmana sociatina kaṅśati samaksāveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. So when all the upadis are gone and replaced with consciousness of our Swarup, our spiritual form, our relationship with Krishna, then in that pure state of consciousness we can perform bhakti. So bhakti can be performed in any condition, but pure bhakti is jaiva dharma, shravanam kirtanam vishnu smaranam padasevanam. So the Bhagavad Gita is very special because it takes us from the material entanglement to the highest relationships with the Supreme Lord, Sarvadharma Prajaja. So here, the beginning, setting the scene, we see that the material world is a great interwoven web of family relationships, envy, rivalry, so on and so forth. As I explained that envy, that's in the Uddhava Gita, envy takes the form, three forms. We look down on those we consider below ourselves. We look down on the tom-tom driver, the man in Delhi with his big business. You think, I'm better than the tom-tom driver. So he disparages him. Oh, look at him, he's a villager, he's stupid, he doesn't know anything. So we disparage those we consider lesser. And then we have a sense of rivalry with those that we have a peer group. This happens in spiritual life. Oh, I've got more disciples than him. Even in the spiritual platform. we consider a sense of rivalry. Oh, I've got more goals. I'm a better soccer player than him. We have a sense of rivalry. I won the Olympic medal, he got the silver. We have a sense of rivalry against those we consider in our peer group. And then we, matsarya, we have envy those that we see above us. So the poor man envies the rich man. The fool envies the learned person. The Rakshasa envies the Bhakta. So this is, if we understand these three, then we can avoid them. Because they're the 6 afflictions of the mind. Envy is the final result. Lust, anger, greed, right? Calm, we want to enjoy. And then we become angry because we can't. And then we become greedy for more because we get a little pleasure in this material world through satisfying lust. And then we become in illusion because we think, oh, I've got a wife and I've got 5 children, I'm so satisfied, I want more money, I want greed. So then that leads to moha, illusion. We think that this will make us happy. When we're a child, we think I'll be happy. When I become an adult, when I become a teenager, we think, when I go to college, I'll be happy. Oh no, when I leave college and I get a job, then I'll be happy. Then I have a wife and child, then I'll be happy. And then at the end of life, and then when I'm dead, I'll be happy. So this is moha, but we become proud. We become proud of what we get in the material world. What is that expression? The pauper is proud of his penny, right? Oh, look at me, I've got 20 rupees. He's only got 5, I've got 20 rupees. I cheated him, I got more. So there's pride in our material achievement. There's 4 types of pride. That's in the Bhagavatam. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruti, Sribe. Birth, we think, oh, I'm born in a higher position than him. Right? The Americans think, oh, we're the greatest nation. So if I'm born in America, I'm better than the French. So in this way, in such and such, oh, I'm born in this family, so I'm better than this person. I'm born in a Brahman family, or he's born in a Sudra family, I'm better. Janma Aishwarya. Then Aishwarya means opulence, money. Shruti means learning. Oh, I'm educated in this way, so I'm best. And then Shribir, beauty, physical beauty. Of those, particularly in Kali Yuga, the most self-intoxicating is money. So we become proud. Oh, especially now, where the culture is very poor now in human society. It's still there in India. There's still a touch of the Vedic civilization. But the rest of the world is just money culture. You know, get money and work for money and have money, then you have status and then you have a chance to be happy. So when the money goes, because all financial systems, the present one, it will collapse. When the money goes, then people go crazy. They'll start fighting. So in India they still have some culture. That's based on the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, some knowledge of spirituality, some idea of the laws of karma. So that is cause of Bhagavad Gita. So nowadays, in the whole world, there are just these tribal religions that are faith-based. Oh, you must believe. But Bhagavad Gita and yoga is not belief-based, it's experience-based. You understand? We have faith in Krishna because if we perform sadhana, we realize Krishna personally and directly. So that is also in the Uddhava Gita that you become satisfied, you become, you have energy, your hunger goes away when you eat good food. So your hunger for knowledge goes away, you become satisfied and you feel happiness when you practice spiritual life properly. Mahajyena gatasva pantha. So we don't, but the rest of the world, oh, believe in this, believe in that, believe in this prophet, believe in this prophet, believe in this book, believe in this, believe in atheism, believe in this. It's all belief, belief, belief. Believe in the latest scientific analysis of the world, believe in genetics, believe in the Big Bang, believe in that, believe in this. And it's bombarded through the media. And then the people, oh, next year it's another idea, next year it's another political system. But Bhagavad Gita, 5,000 years, unchanged. Why? Because this actually deals with the principles of the material and the spiritual world. So anyway, Sanjaya is the disciple of Vedavyas, who at the end of Dwapara Yuga, he accumulated all the Vedas, wrote them down, and the Puranas, the Itihasas, and so he did great service. Sanjaya is a great disciple, and he's Shaktivesh avatar. It's explained in the Shastra that Ashvatthama will become the next Vedavyas. It's very extraordinary. Ashvatthama, who killed the sons of Draupadī and acted very badly, he was cursed to wander without a friend. Sometimes they say in local Braj law that they have seen Ashvatthama in Braj. So he is going to become the next Vedavyas. So Shaktivesh avatar is a jiva like us, an individual soul, but a vesh, dressed in Shakti, the Gyan Shakti. So Krishna, he dresses his devotees in different Shaktis, according to his desire, according to the devotee's desire. So Vedavyas is Gyan Shakti, and he had the disciples and they distributed. That's a little explained in the Bhagavatam. After my sons and the sons of Pāṇḍu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukṣetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Yes, so Kurukṣetra, the foolish people, they say, oh, means the body. No, you can go to Kurukṣetra. I've been there numerous times. There's a big lake there where Purusharam accumulated the Kshatriyas. So there's also a place where they say the Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Here, Kurukṣetra, north of Karnal. You know, of course. Desiring fight. What did they do? So now, just like today's verse, we'll read number 2 also. Sanjaya, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pāṇḍu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. And then that's today's verse. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pāṇḍu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Draupada. So Prabhupada explains, that's Drishtadyumna. He was the commander of the Pandavas. So there was a dispute between King Drupada, who's the father of Draupadi, and Droṇācārya. Droṇācārya was a big Brahman, and he had a special kavachas and shield. Because of his austerity and knowledge, he was considered undefeatable. Just like Bhishma. He had each mrityu. He could die at his will. He had that benediction from his father Santanu. And then there was also the third person that was considered indefatigable, and that was Karna. Karna's son of Kunti, through Draupadi, through the sun god. He had different kavachas on his body, and they would absorb all the astras that were fired at him. So Duryodhana, we see here, he's got good reason to think he cannot be defeated. And that's what happened. Finally, when the Pandavas came back from the forest, Krishna went to the court of Duryodhana and said, look, just give them 5 villages. But Duryodhana wouldn't. And Purusharam had even told Duryodhana that you'll never win against Krishna. This is the supreme person. You cannot defeat him. And he is on the side of the Pandavas, Arjuna in particular. But Duryodhana wouldn't accept that. He was spiritually blind, just like his father, Dhritarashtra, was physically and spiritually blind. And blinded, like I say, by this bodily attachment, desire to be a king. Of course, that destroyed him, and that destroyed Duryodhana. It's rather like, I don't know, Shakespeare, the story of Macbeth. His famous story, the tragedy of Macbeth. He was a general in the Scottish king's army, but he killed the king to become the king. But he went mad. He was haunted by paranoia. It's a famous play by Shakespeare. He was encouraged by his wife. But then at the end, he said, all the world's a stage and we are but actors upon it. We have our entrances and our exits. And at the end of that Macbeth, there's a famous line where it says, he wears a cloak, but his belt is too small to bind it. Means he wants to be king, but he is not equipped to be king. So eventually he's completely destroyed. He becomes a tyrant and paranoid. So this is what you see here also. Because Duryodhana, just like, and Acharyas, Prabhupada have explained, that here, what did they do? You see verse number 1. The idea is that they're there fighting. Now Dhritarashtra thinks, like Duryodhana, that he will succeed his plan. His son will become the king. He'll defeat the Pandavas. Because they have 11 Akshahinis and the Pandavas only have 7. And they have Bhishma, and they have Karna and Droṇācārya. Huh? Yeah, they have all these great warriors on their side from the court. So they think Dhritarashtra. So Dhritarashtra's thinking, did they fight? Did they fight? Because he thinks that if they fight, we'll win, you see. But as I explained, that Kurukṣetra is a holy place. It's a place there connected with Parashuram and so on. So many yajnas are performed there. If you go there, it's a huge plain. And apparently archaeologists have dug up remnants of the battle. But it's a huge flat plain. And so it's a holy place, Dhamma-kshetra, Kurukṣetra. So Sanjay tries to give a hint to Dhritarashtra, no. But Dhritarashtra doesn't want. So this is like Macbeth, this is like people in the material world. They think they'll conquer the material energy. They forget that they will be conquered by death. Death conquers everyone. It conquers Ravana, it conquers Hiranyakashipu, it conquers Duryodhana, it doesn't have Vakra. But people think, I'll conquer death. I'll worship Rakshasas, I'll offer them blood, I'll get a long life, I'll overcome the laws of karma, I will be successful in this world. But no. But that is the madness, that is the moha. That is the moha, pride. And then the end of pride is matsarya. So the afflictions of the material mind, lust, anger, greed, illusion, pride, and envy at the end, the 6 afflictions, these afflict the living entity who's trying to become God of the material world. That's what Duryodhana wants. That's what Ravana wants. That's what Hiranyakashipu wants. That's what all these demons now trying in the world. They're always trying. Everyone wants to be God. So in the material world, yes, everyone wants to be number one. Nobody wants to recognize their subordination to the Supreme Lord. Nobody wants to become the servant of the Supreme. They want to become the Supreme of the material energy. There's whole religions like this, that a Messiah will come and will rule the material world forever, and everyone will become our servant. So there are even whole religions like this. But no, time I am. Mrityu sarva harasyam. I'm all-devouring death. You may be Ravana, you may be Dhritarashtra, you may be Duryodhana, but you'll never defeat death. There was once this super rich fellow, Rockefeller. He died, the head of the family, he died at 101. And in his life, leading up to his death, he had 5 heart transplants. Right? So he has big money, so he can get all these illegally taken hearts and fit them in. But death came, 101. Everyone dies. Everyone dies. So that is the ruler. And the suffering in the material world, the frustration of our dream, is to teach us one thing. This is what the atheists, they complain. There is no God because there's suffering. You heard this argument? Because if there was God, there would be no suffering. So the idea in that idea is predicated on the idea that God is my servant and he should create me and make me happy. Well, yes, but in your natural condition in the spiritual world. But if you think but you're rebellious against his supremacy, and so the material creation is there. So the suffering in the material world teaches us that we are subordinate. It is not proof that God doesn't exist. It is proof that God does exist. Because it shows us that we're subordinate. We don't want suffering. But like I say, we suffer as children, we suffer as teenagers, we suffer in college, we suffer when we work, we suffer with the wife and children, we have a little taste of happiness. And then we suffer when everything is gone in the end of life. And then death comes and says, I'm the ruler. And time propels us along that. And time takes everything away. But we won't give it up. So that's the condition of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. And so Dhritarashtra is thinking, my plan will succeed, my son will become king. But Duryodhana, we all know the story, he was envious towards the Pandavas, rivalry. So he tried to kill the Pandavas. So the thing is, just like Macbeth, like Duryodhana, like every criminals in the material world, that if you perform sinful activity, if you become a murderer or you attempt murder like Duryodhana, or you become a thief, or you react badly, it's not that you just walk away from it. It follows you like a ghost. If you rob the bank, every policeman is a threat, right? If you're a thief, if you're a politician making war for profit, then you're taking alcohol and drugs and planning and more. Like Macbeth, he became a tyrant. He was killing everyone to maintain the cloak for which he was not fit to wear. His belt was too small to bind the cloak around him. So this material world, people perform pop. And they think, yes, I've succeeded. Just like in the demoniac natures, it is there. So much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my plans. He is my enemy and I have killed him. He is my enemy and I will kill this person. So this is what the business world is, right? I'll kill this company, I'll kill this company, my company will expand. I'll become greater. There is none as superior to me, none so powerful. I will give in charity. They think, I'll give in charity. People will think that I'm wonderful and a kind person. But all the time in the back of the mind is haunted by the karma fall. Because every activity performed for our own benefit in forgetfulness of the laws of karma which are imposed by the Supreme Lord, that haunts us. Huh? If you become a papi, you're always haunted. I'll be caught. So therefore the papi, they know it's sinful, so they do it at night, right? They break into houses at night. They go robbing at night. When the dark comes out, the Rakshasas come out and they try to exploit the situation. I'll not be seen. But Super Soul sees everything, and it all goes in Chitragupta's book. Everything is recorded. Huh? And it'll be shown to you at the time of death. You'll relive your life, your activities. Huh? And you'll see what you've done. So here Duryodhana, in today's verse, he's going to his military commander Droṇācārya, and Droṇācārya is liberal Brahman, but you can think that Droṇācārya thought, yes, I'll teach Dhristadyumna, the son of Draupadī, the military art. But if there's a battle, I'm the teacher, and I'll defeat him. So I'll teach him anyway. Huh? But you can see his liberality, his Brahminical nature, and also a certain detachment, perhaps. Well, if I become defeated, never mind, I've done my duty. So this is the solution, that in the Gita, this is the first point of the Gita, that we're all stuck in this material world, so how to get out? So that is there in the Gita, that knowing what should be done and what should not be done from the Shastra, from the sadhus, from the Mahajan, from the ācāryas, from the Guru, we should act in such a way that we can become gradually elevated. That's also there in the demoniac natures. Pravritim cha nivritim cha. Basically, that's what Krishna says. They don't know what should be done, and they don't know what should be done, not done. They don't have, they live in this world of speculation, and this is Kali Yuga now, right? People don't accept the Shastra. They just speculate about what should be done, what should be done. But because they're in the material energy performing pāp, they're like Duryodhana here. Look what you've done. Why is he, Prabhupada puts it nicely, why is he hinting at, he's being respectful to Droṇācārya, but he's saying, look at this army, it's been laid out by your disciple against me. And aren't I your disciple? Aren't I the king? Aren't I? But you can see that he's uneasy. Huh? He's not sitting comfortably in the chair. So because that, like I say, when we perform, of course you don't perform, or saintly devotees, but when the materially conditioned soul performs sinful activities, pāp, lying, cheating, stealing, rumor mongering, all these bad activities, it haunts him. It becomes part of his mind. And therefore, that people take alcohol, right, to find peace of mind. They take drugs, opiates, they take all these things because they want to make the mind quiet. And then they want to go to sleep and so on, and they want to have the dancing girls and so on, but they're haunted. Because every activity is like a seed that grows a plant, that grows a fruit. And we have to eat that fruit on the material platform. So Duryodhana, he has this desire. He's also spiritually, he tried to capture Krishna when he came on that peace mission. But Krishna gave, it's explained there in the Mahabharata, that Krishna gave us he said, catch me if you can. But they couldn't control Krishna. But Duryodhana, still, he's in the presence of the Supreme Person. But because of his material envy and plans, he couldn't even see the Supreme Lord. So bhaktyamam abhijananti. Only by bhakti is he understood. Because Krishna only reveals himself to the devotee. Krishna doesn't reveal himself to the materialist. But to the devotee, he's the fast friend, Arjuna. So therefore Arjuna took Krishna and Duryodhana took the army of Krishna. But Arjuna, I've got Krishna. But he's not thinking victory. I've got Krishna with me. That's everything. Queen Kunti. Kunti is an interesting story. Kunti, at the beginning of Bhagavatam, she says, let all those misfortunes happen because then I'll remember you, Krishna. Let them happen again. Now we have, the battle has decided, we are ruling the kingdom, but you're going to Dwarka. Before, when we were in the forest, you used to visit us and counsel us and guide us and cheer us. We saw you. But now that we've won the battle and Yudhisthira is established on the throne, you're going back to Dwarka with Baladev. What will... It's better that those miseries happen so we can have your darshan. And if we have your darshan, then we will no longer have birth, death, old age and disease. So the suffering in the material world for the materialist breaks his enjoying spirit, and it teaches him that you're subordinate. But the devotee takes suffering. There's that verse, tattena nukampatam. Yeah, that's a very important verse, right? The devotee, let all the misfortunes happen. It's explained there. It's in the Nectar of Devotion. It's quoted there.
10 chapter 10 sloka.
Yeah, it's also in, let the devotee who accepts the problems that come to him mentally and physically as the result of his bad karma, as the blessing of Krishna, he inherits the spiritual world, just as a faithful son inherits the kingdom of the Father. So in this material world there is suffering, but the devotee, he is thinking, this is the mercy of Krishna, I'm getting the result of my previous activities, now, but I am just going to stay faithful to Krishna, my mam namaskaru, I take shelter of Krishna, I know he will protect me, just like Arjuna was protected by Krishna and fulfilled by Krishna. And at the end verse, if you remember, surrender to Krishna means what? We'll go right to the end again. Remember we were discussing? Yes. Yatra yogeshvaro Krishna, yatra patha nanordara, tatra sri vachaya bhutir, drutva nitir matir mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics. That's very interesting. He's controller of yoga, he's the mystic in charge. And wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, archery means you look at the point, so that means the devotee, he's the Paramahamsa, he looks at Krishna and doesn't become distracted. There will certainly be opulence. That's what Duryodhana wanted, is it not? Victory, that's what he wanted, right? Extraordinary power and morality. That morality comes from the soul, because the soul and Krishna are non-different. So morality is the expression of Krishna. So the purified soul has a sense of morality. What is to be done, what is not to be done, how to treat other people nicely, so on and so forth. That is my opinion. So here Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, will there be fight? Look at the army, will I win? Look what you've done. All these questions are in the mind of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. But Arjuna, they blow the conch shells, right? That's the next part. And that shatters the heart of Duryodhana. That brings the ghosts out of his mind before him. I have tried to put on a cloak for which I have no belt to tie, and my destruction is at hand. But I will fight. So that's the materialist. They will be defeated. And even if they get all the opulence in the world, it's temporary and it'll never satisfy. But the opulence of a devotee is his bliss, is his bhakti, is his devotion. And that's victory. So we'll finish on that point. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. During our discussion, anyhow, however...
Do I know what?
During our discussion, however expertly we are planning to do this thing, that thing, when the death comes, the thing finished, right?
Yes.
So, even many devotees give the class like this about the death. Of course, I am enjoying in Vrindavan. I am attending the class. I am getting the lesson. I am chanting 16 rounds. I am enjoying this spiritually. Still, the death is fearful for me. How to come out from this?
Well, you must, the first item of spiritual knowledge is you're not the body.
Still, that is...
There's no death for the soul. There's only death for the body. So if you contemplate this point, and Krishna is death. So he will come, he'll take his devotee in a situation that's beneficial for that devotee. Because death isn't independent of Krishna. Krishna says, Mrityu sava harascha. So when we die, as we all will, that will be arranged by Krishna. Krishna, the devotee is under the shelter of Krishna by his devotion. Because devotion is not a one-way street. Even if we're just sadhaka, Krishna is giving us shelter. What to speak of the uttamadhikaris? So we may not have realized Krishna, just like the child may not understand the shelter of his father and his mother. But the mother and father are very attentive to the child, even though the child is still in the trance of childhood, prana mohe, so on and so forth. So we may not have realized Krishna, and therefore we're nervous about death, but Krishna is attentive. But death, knowing that death will come, that should be our inspiration.
Inspiration?
Yes. Because we have limited time to improve our realization of Krishna. So if you're realizing Krishna, then you enter Vaikuntha. You don't worry. But it's one important point though is that you can't attain Krishna by dying. You know, there's the story of Sanatana Goswami. He had sores on his body, so he had resolved in his mind, I can't perform bhakti in this body. I'm going to commit suicide. I'm going to throw myself under the wheel of the wrath cart. So Lord Chaitanya met him, embraced him, and it cured his bodily ailments. And he spoke to Sanatana. He said, Sanatana, if Krishna was attained by dying, I would have died 1,000 deaths. So you can't attain Krishna by dying. You can attain Krishna by bhakti. Bhakti mam abhijanati. So death is there, so that be our inspiration. to perform bhakti in a regulated, increasingly applied way. You understand? But death in itself. But the devotee, like that sloka, tattena nukambatham. You see, the great secret, what does Krishna say? I'll tell you the great secret now. Manmana bhavamad bhakto. Fix the consciousness on me. How? Bhakti. And then yagi, do everything as an offering to me. That's the difference. The materialist, Duryodhana, all his plan, this is the Bhagavad Gita. The basic idea of the Bhagavad Gita is that there's 5 topics in the Gita. One is karma, number 5. So in the material world, people are acting for me. Duryodhana is acting for me. It's all his plans. Dhritarashtra is doing it for me, my plan. But the whole science of Bhagavad Gita, and that's what Krishna, he explains. I explained this to the sun god, and Vivishwan heard it from him. The whole science of activity taught in the Bhagavad Gita, Madhyaji, means that you perform your activities as an offering to Krishna. Yes, the materialist is washing himself and putting on, shaving and putting on makeup or dressing nicely for my glorification. But the devotee is washing and cleaning the body as an offering to Krishna. You understand? So even the bodily activities, we all have to do work. And we all have tendencies, prescribed duties. So they should be performed as an offering. Oh, I have to clean my room. Oh, I don't like to do it. I'm doing it as an offering to Krishna. And then on the higher level, Ragnuga Bhakti, Rag Bhakti, Rati, is that I am performing the activity of cleaning the room while situated in my awakened Swarup. That is what Lord Chaitanya. So Bhagavad Gita teaches, perform all your activities as an offering to Krishna. Yagyata kamano nyatra karmayam bandhana. Right? Work must be performed for yagya, as a yagya, to Vishnu. But then on the highest level, when Jaiva Dharma and the devotee is realized in his Swarup, he performs his activities not just on the bodily platform, but within. And that's what Rupa Goswami explains in that the devotee is like a woman that has a paramour. She is attentively serving her husband, but within her mind, she's loving her secret lover. So Rupa Goswami uses this. So Lord Chaitanya's sadhana is to awaken the Swarup, and then situated in Swarup Siddhi, your awoken Swarup, you're not performing just with the body, but you're with your Swarup, and you're cleaning the kitchen. But your Swarup is in this form, and now I'm performing it on that platform. You understand? 2 levels. Because bhakti is body, mind, and then ultimately awakened Swarup. So that, yes, Arjuna, fight. You have this ability with your body and mind, fight. But Lord Chaitanya says, okay, but now fight in your Swarup. And so if you read the teachings of Ramananda Roy, Lord Chaitanya, then you understand that. That is ultimately. Because ultimately, yes, doing your work, your bodily necessities and offering to Krishna, that's good. But that is not the goal of Lord Chaitanya, the 6 Goswamis. 6 Goswamis, they're situated in their Swarup, Manjari Bhav. They're writing the Shastra with their body, expanding the Shikshastikam, but they're situated in their Swarup as Manjari. Right? So that is the perfected stage. So Bhagavad Gita leads to that. Yeah, go ahead.
Suppose we are in bhakti and we have taken diksha and all that.
Excuse me?
Suppose we are doing bhakti, we are surrendered to Krishna, we are doing bhakti and we taken diksha also. But during that time, if last rituals are not performed for that, means during that, as per Guru Purana, we should perform last rituals.
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 I'm not catching your accent, sorry.
Rituals means...
ritual.
Rituals, yeah.
Yeah.
So is it required to perform the rituals for a devotee also, if he has taken diksha and bhakti, he is doing bhakti?
For Vaishnavas.
Diksha, you mean is it performance?
No, what I am asking that suppose a devotee is there, he has taken diksha.
Yes.
He is in bhakti.
Yes.
But suppose his death occurs, he leaves his body.
Yes.
Okay. Then is it required to perform the rituals for him, last rituals?
For the devotee?
For devotee. Last rituals means...
You mean like burning the body and so on? Yeah, no, that's auspicious.
After burning the body, 13 days rituals are there. 13 days.
Yeah.
In Hinduism, 13 days.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see. No, you can perform those, of course, but they're ultimately not necessary. Not necessary.
People are also doing pindan.
Yeah. Well, pinda is karma kanda, so that's not ultimately not necessary. Because karma kanda is to, is for the benefit of the forefathers. That's karma kanda. Just like this yagya, he performed a big yagya to get a son. That's karma kanda, Draupadi. So you see, the bhakta is withdrawn from all that. But it can be performed in a ritualistic way as a respect. But the devotee is Paramahamsa. Proper devotee, he's above all rules and regulations. The Vaishnava means servant of Vishnu. He's situated, he's realized in his position as Krishna's servant, is realized in his swarup. So the rituals, the karmakanda rituals at the time of death and so on and forth, they can be performed, but they don't necessarily have to be performed. Just like Prabhupada. When this temple was opened, 1975, Prabhupada brought all these big Brahmins from South India to chant mantras, for days and days. But then he told the devotees in a darshan, he said, when we were chanting Hare Krishna with devotion, that was the real installation. You understand? So if a devotee dies and you burn the body there, Panigat, down in Jamuna, the best thing is to have a kirtan in the temple in his honor. Because what is that? The effect of all mantras is contained in the Maha Mantra. So if you chant Hare Krishna, all mantra, all rituals are satisfied. That is the special benediction of Kali Yuga. And that is why Lord Chaitanya's Namo Mahavindanyaya. He says, okay, Karmakanda, we don't kick it out. It regulates society. Jnanakanda, it regulates society, attracts those. But the devotee and the devotees and the chanting of Hare Krishna, the effect of all mantras is there in the Maha Mantra. You see the point? You can still do those things out of respect and out of societal obligation for the parents, those that are less enlightened. Because the devotee, he doesn't say, of course Sukadeva Goswami, he gave up the family completely. He said, but the devotee, we are in this world, so we want to establish Vedic culture, Vedic rituals there. But Arjuna, he's the disciple of who? Krishna. They didn't have a Diksha ceremony. Because what is Diksha? It's a formalization of a Shiksha relationship. Diksha means Dibya Gyan and Shya. It's two things. It's the bestowal of divine knowledge, and it is Shya, protection from sinful reaction. So it is a ritual, but it is Pancharatriki Vidhi. Diksha is 5 things. One is tapa, tilak, nam, yagi, mantra and yagi. That is yagi. That means how to perform the deity. Tapa. Tapa means the guru comes and said, tapa, follow regulative principles. Okay, I'm following. Okay, now tilak. Now if your body is purified by following regulative principles and chanting initially, then that is, your body is a temple, so it can be tilak. Just like on the temples, especially South India, and our temple, we have the tilak mark. This means the house of Vishnu. So tilak means this house is the house, this body is the house of Vishnu. So that's tilak. Then nam, third part. I published one book on this, Pancharatriki. Nam means that you're formally given the Mahamantra. Nam, Krishna Nam. And at the same time you're given a Dikshanam like Krishna Das, Govinda Das, Gopijana Balabhaya. So you're given Mahamantra or any mantra of Vishnu worship, and you're given a spiritual name. So that's Bhagavat Marg. Then Pancharatriki, the next two, then the Guru gives mantra. Just like Madhavendra Puri gave mantra to the Brahmins in Govardhan, by which they would perform Archan Marg to Gopal. They found Gopal. So that's number 4. That's Yagi, mantra. And that's the Gayatri mantras, and each the Gopal mantra, and so on, and mantras to Guru, Kamdev mantra, that we get in our Sampradaya. So that's mantra. Then the person can perform yagi. Yagi means yagya, devotion, formal devotion to the deity. So there's 5 points in Diksha actually. Tapa, tilak, nam, mantra, and because then you see, if you're purified, then you can take what we call second initiation, but it's not really second start, no. So it's actually mantra initiation. And then those mantras, by those mantras, then you can worship the deity form. Just like those that have mantra initiation, they can worship the deity in the temple. And then yagi. And that is the same as Atmanivedanam. Yagi means that I'm living for the deity. I'm the servant of the deity. So that's actually Diksha. It's called Panchasamskar. There's a book, I published it. And you can also read the first 2 vilasas of the Hari Bhakti Vilas. I've got it, it's in a yellow book. I think they've still got it there. So that's Panchasamskar. That's a book by Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It explains what is Diksha. So Diksha is a formalization of a Shiksha relationship. But the whole essence of the Guru-disciple relationship is the conveyance of knowledge. You understand? So you can take Shiksha from anyone. That's in the Uddhava Gita, right? The Avadut Brahma says, I have, I think, 25 gurus. Pingala, the prostitute, water is my guru, the wind is my guru.
Before I think.
Yeah, so the neophyte thinks, my guru is in this person. Just like the neophyte thinks, Krishna is in the deity. But the Madhyamadikari sees Krishna everywhere. So the more advanced devotee says, I see Guru Shakti everywhere. I see Guru Shakti in the water. The water always takes the humble position. It doesn't climb uphill, it takes... So in this way. So expanded vision of the liberated soul. But of course you maintain respect for the Diksha Guru. But there is Vama Pradaksha Guru, there is Diksha Guru, there is Shiksha Guru, there is Chaitya Guru. So you take instruction from them all. When the devotee is properly purified, then he can take instruction from Chaitaguru.
One question was regarding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I heard that he took Diksha in Madhava Sampradaya, Madhavacharya Nama Diksha, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Diksha. Then some Shankaracharya people claim that he also took Sannyas Diksha from Shankaracharya Sampradaya.
Keshav Bharati.
So he did into Sampradaya, he can take Diksha.
He took sannyas, I think, from Keshav Bharati, wasn't it?
He was from Shankaracharya Sampradaya.
Yeah. But he was, but even within the Shankaracharya Sampradaya, you see, what did Shankaracharya say? Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Udamate, Nahina, Rakshati Dukrin Karine. Worship Govinda, worship Govinda. So the thing is, and he also, Prabhupada quotes that, Narayano Paro Vyaktat. The real Shankaracharya, that's in Padma Param. Mayavadam Ashakshastram Prishjanam Bodham Uchyate. That Lord Shiva is talking to Parvati and he says, Mayavad is in Paya Shastra, Ashakshastram. Prishjanam Bodham Uchyate. It is covered Buddhism, because Buddhism refuses to believe in a supreme person. So the Mayavads believe in a light as the ultimate. So they're also denying the supreme person. So in Kali Yuga, in the form of a Brahmin, I spread this philosophy. Mayavadam Ashakshastram. And one of the purposes of that is to break down the Karmakanda rituals that were so prevalent in Dwarpa, like Drupada, doing big yagya to get a son that can kill Droṇācārya. That is Karmakanda. And you see, by breaking down all the Karmakanda external rituals and so on, then bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevam becomes prominent, you see. So that's also one of the persons. So the real Shankaracharya, and even within the Keshav Bharati, was a devotee. Right? Where did he go? He went to get Diksha from Keshav Bharati. Huh? Katwa, yeah. So we accept Shankaracharya as a great devotee, because Vaishnava Yata Shambhu, the greatest Vaishnav is Lord Shiva. In the Brahma Samhita, Shiram Yatada Divikari Visesha Yogat Sanjayate Nahi Tatak Pratagastetu Yam Shambhutamma Pata Samapaiti Karyat Govindamadi Purisham Tamam Bhajami. So, just like milk is transformed into yogurt, Vishnu transforms himself into Shiva. Milk and yogurt are non-different, but they're in a different state. So Lord Shiva is for the performance of the work of destruction. So Lord Shiva, he's Bhutanath. He's controller of Tamagun and the tamasic Rakshasa entities. And so he destroys those the Karmakanda rituals that stand, which is your original question, which stand in the way of the free flow of bhakti. You understand? But at the same time, we take from Hari Bhakti Vilas, you know, Gopal Bhatta Goswami was in the Ramanuja Sampradaya, we take their rituals to structure. And if you read that one in the first Vilas, of the Hari Bhakti Vilas, for example, it says, you should take Diksha from a guru who has nice hair. It says and has a handsome body, and who is very attractive. But then it says, but the main thing is, he should be a devotee of Krishna. Yeah, you see? And then it gives advice like, you should chant Hare Krishna mantra looking towards the east in the morning, looking towards the west in the evening, looking towards north in the midday. But no matter what happens, Just chant Hare Krishna wherever you are. So Gopal Bhatta has made that like that. And then it says that you should take diksha on, you shouldn't take diksha on, say, like Mars, the day of Mars, or the day of Shukra. Shukra you can take. But Saturn, you should take diksha at this time, in this holy place. And you should take diksha, the Guru should give diksha at this time and this place. But then, Gopal Bhatta says, but whenever the Guru, and that is auspicious. But then Gopal Bhatta, at the end of all these regulations, Gopal Bhatta says, but whenever the Guru gives you diksha, that is the right time. So all those rules and regulations, this is your original question, they're there, they're auspicious, but the main thing is do it. Like you should take breakfast early in the morning, you should have lunch, you should have dinner. But the most important thing, if you're hungry, eat. If you're starving and you think, oh, it's not lunchtime yet, no, you eat. You understand? So all those rules and regulations, they have some pertinence to structure human society. But like Sukadeva Goswami, the main point is, like Arjuna, fixed on the target, Krishna's service. You understand? And the Maha Mantra transcends all rules and regulations. Right, what do we chant? There's no hard and fast rules for chanting the Maha Mantra. Right? Right, Gopal Guru, Lord Chaitanya. There's Gopal Guru Goswami, right? Lord Chaitanya, he was going to the bathroom. Imagine, such a leela. And he was always chanting, so he put some,
clips.
I think it was some reed to stop him chanting when he was in the toilet. But then Gopal Guru, you know, he's a little boy. He said, why are you stopping chanting when you're going to the bathroom? Krishna's in the bathroom. So then Lord Chaitanya, this is Leela, of course, he threw away the thing. He said, you're my Guru, your name is Gopal Guru. Right? And he's the Guru of Dain Chandra Goswami that wrote the Guru Archana Smarati Padati that describes all that. Regulated Rag Bhakti. So you can chant in any way. But the most important one is to Savu Parivinaya Muktam, like we said at the beginning of the class. We shouldn't maintain material attachment while chanting, right? This is one of the, is it number 10?
Even though...
that we shouldn't, to maintain material attachments, right? So what does that mean? This is so important. That means attachment to Kama Kanda, Jnana Kanda. But it also means that if we chant thinking, I'm this body, we can't, that is not Sudha Bhakti. That is not Sudnam. We have to chant thinking, I am Swarup. You understand? And Swarup awakens through Seva Bhav. Mahādyena Katasvapapta. By serving the great Acharyas, by serving their instructions, by serving the Vedas, then we become situated in Swarup. Then we can chant offenselessly. Then we can get Krishna Prem. But that's Nambas. It's Nam Aparad, but Nambas means a clearing stage. You're clearing Aparad. But the most important thing is when we sit down and we're going to chant, we should perform Buddha Shuddhi. That's the best ritual. I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm the soul. And my soul is chanting as an offering, yagi, to Krishna. And then your Swarup will awaken. But if you're thinking, oh, I'm this body, I'm Bengali, I'm French, I'm Orison, I'm male, I'm female, and I'm chanting, And we should have female gurus, and we should have this guru, and we should have male gurus, and we should have children gurus. It's all this bodily consciousness. But we should be like Sukadeva Goswami. I'm the soul. So we better finish at this point. Do you understand the point?
Yes.
We should always go for the essence, like Arjuna, the archer. I only see the eye of the fish. Right? You know the Mahabharata, right? He didn't see anything else. I just see the eye of the fish. So that's Sukadeva Goswami. So we can have all those rituals and do everything and this and that, but we must keep our focus on the eye of the fish and fire the arrow and follow it to Golok Vrindavan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Bhagavad Gita, Sadhu Sangha, Srila Prabhupada Ki.